Alright, it's finished. That's what it should look like. Put Loctite. I put blue Loctite. What is it? I used semi-permanent blue thread lock. Some Permatex. Put it where it goes into the block. Put it on those threads. And then up here on that little compression fitting inside there, put some in there before you tighten it down. Don't want this to come loose. That'd be bad. If you haven't worked with these before, you don't have to tighten this nut a lot. If you do, you're going to mess something up. Snug it pretty good, but you'll see right as soon as you tighten this nut a little bit, this is going to start to lock up. You'll feel it start to grab it. There's no sense tightening the hell out of it. Like I said, you might mess something up. But that's it on the idea. You can point the nozzle where you want. As you can see too, on the very tip, I don't know if you can tell, very tip of that nozzle, it's smashed kind of flat. I took some pliers and mushed it so it'll shoot out a fan pattern instead of a stream. Plus, that's kind of a big tube. I didn't want to lose oil pressure. I didn't want it going just, you know, full-fledged shooting a stream out. So I squished the end right there, if you can tell, and I squished it at an angle. I tried to match the angle of the teeth, if you can see what I mean, so that it'll shoot right onto the teeth. And in case you're wondering about the timing gear, hold on. Thrust washer is on. So when it's all mounted up, that's how it writes. As you can see, plenty of clearance between your little oil feed squirter there and the nut. Plenty of clearance, so it's not going to hit. And that's it. After this, you won't have any worries about whether or not that, you know, if that distributor gear goes out on your new roller cam, then you probably used the wrong one, because you got your choice on distributor gears of cast iron, composite, melanized, or steel. Now, I first bought a melanized one. It was like $90. Then I started watching videos and stuff and people talking about how their new cam got destroyed because of the wrong gear. And so I ended up spending about $125 on a, I don't know who makes it. I think it's MSD. It's steel gear. It's made for billet cams, which is what I have. So pick your gear right, and if you think you're going to call Comp Cams and they're going to help you, they're not worth a shit. I stayed on line, I don't know, on hold 35 minutes, and then the dude, all I hear is some dude say, Edelbrock, and I said, what? He says, Edelbrock, how can I help you? And I said, Edelbrock, I said, I'm trying to reach Comp Cams. He says, Edelbrock, how can I help you? He was being a dick. And he was pretty useless. He told me to get a melanized gear. The first time I called Comp Cams, I got sounded like a young teenage kid. And he told me to try a composite gear. In other words, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can call Comp's tech line. I mean, the first guy had dogs barking in the background, so apparently he was working from home. And he seemed real cocky as he told me that I should run a composite gear, and the second dude told me to put a melanized one on there, so I ended up buying a steel gear from MSD for billet cams. Like I said, that's what I'm going to run. And just to be sure, this thing's going to squirt the hell out of it with oil constantly. So if my $600 roller cam gets screwed, at least I know I did everything I could to try to prevent it. First it was flat tappet cams going bad. That's why I spent all this money on this. My first Summit racing cam, four of the lobes went flat. They didn't go flat, but I started getting play in the valve train, and it was these four. 1, 2, 3, 4 lifters. And apparently on these 460s, the oil goes down this rail all the way to the end. Pressurizes your deal here for your oil pressure sensor, your sending unit. But the way that this side gets oil, which would be the driver's side of the car, is I got this little block here. It's drilled this way and it's drilled that way, and then they just put 2 plugs, and that oil comes up here, crosses over, and goes down here, and then it fills up this rail. So what I've been told is if you're revving this thing, $6 grand pretty frequently, like I was doing, well, by the time that oil gets all the way through this reel, crosses over, starts to oil these up, these are at the end of the food chain. And I didn't believe it at first. See, I heard this a long time ago, and I just turned the video. I thought it was BS. Dude's like, oh yeah, it's always these 4 lifters get starved. And sure as shit, these 4 lifters, all of them started getting wear on them. Just those 4. All the other ones were perfect. These last 4 started to get a weird pattern on them. It wasn't a circular pattern. It was like a splotchy, strange pattern, and I had to readjust the rocker arms over here twice, and then I knew something was wrong, and I tore the whole engine apart. Started from scratch and went with roller cam. Because when these went bad, they sent metal all over the engine. I had to have it rebored. Everything had to be redone. All this is new. Bored 40 over, line honed. I got it decked. Supposed to be 5 thousandths in the hole. The quench is going to end up being about, the quench I think I got set at 42 thousandths. That's with the gasket. So anyway, you might want to do the mod. The way I'm going to fix this stupid thing up here is I'm putting a T back here, and I'm going to run a line from right here, the base of the sending unit, all the way over to the driver's side down here. Right here. I'm going to tap into this, and I'm going to run that line all the way back here to a T. Or I may just put a 90 there and put the sending unit up front. But for the plan now is to put a T right here to tap in to the end of this reel. That way, when these lifters right here, supposedly when all these lifters eat up a lot of the pressure on this side before it gets a chance to send it over, apparently if you feed oil into here from the front of the motor, it'll fix that problem. So I'm going to do it, see what happens. Bye.